Here to watch more The Summer Hikaru Died. I really enjoyed first two episodes. I expected to enjoy them because I watched the trailer and I thought it was really good, really intriguing. And I like creepy stuff, I like horror when it's done well. And this is definitely my type of horror, psychological horror as well as body horror. I like the vibe, I like the atmosphere of the trailer, but once I actually started watching the anime, I realized that it's even better than I expected. I love it. It's like this old school horror story, but it's also really creative and unique, and the characters are very interesting. The relationship between the two main characters is really compelling and unusual, just so complex and layered. Basically, I've been thinking about this anime non-stop since I started watching it yesterday, and I've been writing down all my thoughts and interpretations of things and ideas and theories, so I have a lot of notes. That's basically a warning. I'm gonna go through all of them, so you can go ahead and jump to my reaction if you want, and maybe come back to this later, or just skip this entirely if that's not your kind of thing. But let's begin. First of all, I want to admit I'm really surprised about how explicitly gay this got. Of course, I noticed the hints even in the first episode, but I didn't say anything because I'm used to this kind of thing being teased in anime without being actually committed to, unless it's like a fetish anime. I actually remember reading somewhere about how that's in accordance to Japanese laws, that you can fetishize that stuff in its own niche genre, but you can't have homosexual relationships in the mainstream anime. So yeah, I was really caught off guard. Good on the creators for being this bold. And while the nature of those two guys' relationship is clearly integral to the story being told here, it doesn't feel forced or like pandering. It just feels like a really good horror story that just happens to have that aspect in it, and that's exactly how I prefer it. Okay, that aside, let's talk about the plot. I was thinking about how different characters repeatedly mentioned and emphasized that it's loneliness that makes those monsters look for people, and that giving them attention would only attract them farther. That made me think about that boy who asked the others to accompany him through the woods. He was talking about how when he goes there, he can't really get lost, because he can't get off the trail and can't even look anywhere. I wonder if it's because of the ritual that the adults did that protects their families, and the way that the defense spell, so to speak, works is that it doesn't let you look at those creatures and make them want to take you. That is my guess. Also, I wonder what the recurrent symbol or the letter means, the one we see before the old lady dies, and then in the woods before it morphs into the long-necked creature. I think it was a letter because Yoshiki called it hiragana, which is one of Japanese alphabets. Either way, it seems to be a connecting thread, so I wonder if those two events are related to each other. Another interesting detail is that Hikaru died in January, but the anime is called The Summer Hikaru Died. Does it mean that Yoshiki is gonna accept Hikaru's death during the summer, or does it mean that creature that took over Hikaru's body is gonna die during the summer and finalize his friend's passing? I also wonder why people only started noticing something strange about Hikaru half a year after his assimilation. I imagine Yoshiki probably had his suspicions for a while and didn't want to voice them and have them confirmed. But what about all the others? Like the woman that got a strange vibe from Hikaru, and the old lady that got killed, and why wasn't the hunter going after that thing sooner? Also, I'm still kind of in denial about that old lady being killed by Hikaru, but I don't want to believe it because we saw that there were other creatures like that, like those two people were harboring one that the hunter killed, and for some reason it was like an object again. It's like how they're possessing or shaping or morphing trees in the woods. Like they clearly can possess more than just people. But also, like the creature that was at the doorstep of the old lady, it didn't look like it was in Hikaru's body. It looked like a weird like churning shape of colors. So it made me think that it was a creature that still doesn't have a host, but I do think that that voice character role. I replayed it again, I think it's him, so I don't know, is it a misdirection somehow? I just don't want to accept it, honestly. I'm in denial, kind of like Yoshiki. I just want Hikaru to be redeemable, I guess. I just want things to work out between them, but I'm pretty sure it's unrealistic. Also, in the classroom, Hikaru was asking someone whether he should shed a tear while singing, and I talked about how him crying at the movie is either performative or instinctual or indicative of his capability of empathy. But now when I think about it connected to the other scene, I'm leaning more towards performative. I wonder if he pretended to care and feel sad and he only fakes emotions, or at least fakes empathy, because I don't even know at this point if he actually has any of the feelings of original Hikaru, because he only so far stated that he has his memories, right? And he said he doesn't have his experiences. What if he doesn't have feelings either, just memories of those feelings? When you have somebody else's memories in your head, it might as well be like you read about it in a book. It's not really yours. You don't really feel it, just like you haven't really experienced it. So I wonder if it's like that. And that takes me to me wondering if the real Hikaru had feelings for Yoshiki in the first place, and that's why the creature that took over has them as well, or at least has idea of them and kind of like acts in accordance, or if the creature has them because it was lonely and it latched on to Yoshiki and developed those feelings. That's its way to bond with him, maybe because it knows that Yoshiki feels like that about him, or it's just like the closest or the only bond you have with somebody and you kind of put everything you can into it. Or maybe it's all of the above, I don't know. I've said before that they chose to reveal the mystery of Hikaru not being Hikaru from the start, but now when I think about it, there's still a different mystery here. Why did Hikaru go to the woods in the first place? What was the secret that he mentioned? How did he get injured? Was it an accident? Also, how was he taken over by that creature if he and his family were supposedly protected? They mentioned that the ritual failed or stopped working. What did the ritual even require in the first place? And if due to the ritual failing, Hikaru was no longer off limits, maybe another creature attacked him and he was dying because of that? Or maybe he knew that Yoshiki was in danger because he's closest to him and they aren't married, and he couldn't marry him because it wasn't allowed there. So he went into the woods to offer himself in place of Yoshiki, and maybe if you're willing they can take you, or maybe they can always take you on the verge of dying no matter what, and he purposely harmed himself. The consent part might be true even if Hikaru didn't intend to die, because he was calling the creature's name by the name that his dad told him about and asking for anyone to help him. I don't know, just throwing ideas here. I also feel like there is something shady about the human characters in this show, specifically the mysterious organization that hunts those creatures. For some reason, they don't give me the heroic, noble vibe. They almost kind of feel like doves from Tokyo Ghoul, operating in the shades of grey, kind of having this rigid, uncompromising mindset about the things that they're fighting, not being open-minded about it. And maybe you shouldn't be open-minded, but I feel like it's not that black and white in this case. And also the adults in the town, they talk about the ritual like they wanted to protect their families, but it comes off as weird and cultish and like they've done something wrong. Maybe even like that's why they even needed that ritual in the first place. Meanwhile, the supposedly evil spirits or whatever they are constantly portrayed as honest and straightforward, and they're described as being lonely. and being lonely is not a sin. But I want to make it clear I'm not about to justify their actions if they harm or kill or possess people against their will and say that it's okay and they're just misunderstood. But it's just an interesting perspective to consider that they're doing what they're doing because they're lonely and trying to bond and consume others because they're trying to escape that loneliness and that emptiness, and what they do is just in their nature and there's no malicious intent. Also, is it supernatural or extraterrestrial or some sort of a parasite or intelligent bacteria or a virus? I'm still not sure about that. Does it even matter though? Maybe it's all a metaphor. The visuals that look like spores could be signifying a communication system, not unlike the one that fungi have, which in this case would be an attempt to bond with others. And that is something that that one woman could have been referring to when she warned Yoshiki about getting mixed. Unless it was a prejudice metaphor, or maybe it was both. Then we have cicadas hatching, shedding their husks, similar to butterfly transformation, undergoing a metamorphosis. If I look at it literally, it's changing shapes, changing bodies, perhaps even switching bodies, which is something I briefly contemplated, I think, that Hikaru might want to either jump into Yoshiki's body or add him to the hive mind. But if I think about it symbolically, that change could be about coming of age, but then there is this horrifying element, so it could be about the fear of growing up, in this case growing up gay in a small judgmental tone. Or maybe the metamorphosis is gonna be Yoshiki accepting Hikaru's death. That last scene where a cicada went back into its husk instead of shedding it, to me it's Yoshiki refusing to accept Hikaru's death and embracing his delusion, mentally combining his friend who died and this thing that replaced him into one. I don't know. With all the strange imagery, there could be also the symbolic aspect of schizophrenia or mental illness in general, as I've mentioned before, with how Yoshiki sees horrific visions and takes some mysterious pills. Also, different people mentioned different names, talking about some sort of force dwelling in the mountains and taking people away. I don't remember what the names were exactly. I want to say Nanaki and Unuki, maybe. The lady that died mentioned the first one, I think, and Hikaru's dad brought up the second one, and then Hikaru himself said it when he was dying. I wonder if different creatures are after different families, or if it's different names and interpretations of the same creature or concept. You know how different religions have different names for God. Oh, and I think that I get why the hunter guy carries the hamster around. It's because animals react to those creatures, right? But let's be honest, a hamster can get agitated for many reasons unrelated to anything supernatural, or even just feel like running around in his wheel for fun. Maybe the hunter guy just likes having a friend around. You never know. Anyway, I think I'm finally done, at least for now. I really want to watch the third episode, so let's go. This sound now makes me think about the raw chicken. I love watermelon, but I hate the seeds. Ah. His dad seemed nice. This intro is so trippy. Those bodies kind of look like trees. There's something old school about this song. I really want this to end well. Denial, yeah, that's what I'm experiencing right now. He's having gay thoughts.
いった。ジロジロ見とる。古いゲームの主人公みたいな格好しよって。育児なしが。こら。
Oh my god.
スイカ。俺の好きなやつやん。俺が世界一うまく食えるやつやん。漫画食いしたろか。種もシンガンも出せるで。知っとるよ。
Wonder if those similarities are both a comfort and a painful reminder.
ちゃんと知っと。ああ。来たな。いや、ちょっとすごいかもしれない。そう。
He doesn't look like he's in the mood for anything. Except for maybe some raw chicken.
漫画食いするからさ。種飲んでもうた。スイカ人間になって。
He turned into something, alright. Where's his dad? Wouldn't he be able to tell because he knows about that kind of stuff? Oh my god.
俺さ、におるだけで楽しいし、スイカもありがとうな。あれはお前に嘘はつかんし、なんか、ちゃんとこういうのいいと。れば、よかったな。
Then what, be honest? Is he saying he should have confessed his love to Hikaru when he was still Hikaru?
結局ガーガー寝よった。白飯の頃やったな。ヒカルのお父やんが死んだ。
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I had that suspicion.
ヒカルのお父やんがあの山に行っとった日やったな。
I hope they didn't mention it before and I just forgot.
ちょうどヒカルが山行ったんと同じくらいの季節。やから俺とヒカルはずっと二人で生きてきた。何の音しとんねん。
Oh, is he texting that lady who gave him his number? Oh. He'll probably just get her killed, honestly. Uh-oh. Oh no. He's gonna kill her. She probably means well, but for some reason I don't trust her. Oh no, he told her. That's true.
おかしくなり始めとるの気づいとこれな多分あんたの友と思うあれは何やろ巨大な塊というみたいなその気配が山から消えたと思った矢先あれが山におった分歪みが抑えられていたんか前首立ちであった変死事件あれも関係しとる気がする私もすぐにこの町から逃げたいくらい怖いんよ
Then go. Oh. Take them with you.
出てったきりな死んだ夫がね昔一回でもダメやった結局息子の体に一生治らん傷を残しただ
Was he also possessed?
何でもええからまた一緒にいたかったあんたもなんとこのまま一緒におったらあかんってみたいになってほしくないのそれに前に進むためには知っておく必要
I don't know. At first I got the feeling that she is talking like this because she doesn't understand him and his feelings, but now it seems to me like she does understand, and that's why she's trying to help him. But every case is different. Maybe there is hope in this case. I'm in denial. He's like a lost puppy.
ヒカルが探しとったで。
見つけたら先帰れって言っといてよ。殺したんだね。
Yeah, there's that.
ヒカル、お前は一体進むために前に進むために
Easier said than done.
やっとおった早く帰ろう今日は先帰ご機嫌斜めやなYoshikiが笑わへん
Oh no, something is seriously wrong then.
顔色ドブみたい
Damn.
マジか俺のせいだ何がやってさ何俺にキレとんの別にキレとらんいやキレとるやんになんか隠しとら
He doesn't understand. Again makes me think that he doesn't have empathy. Wow.
じゃあこの前の週末なんで町の方来とった知らん人としてるのはなんなん
He's jealous.
なんでつうかなんでも言わなあかんのかだと思うけど前ってさも自分のことのように言うけどなあれとちゃうから なあやっぱり俺じゃダメなの
Oh no. Now it looks like the shape that was on the doorstep of that old lady.
そっくりやけどさ光っちゃうやんかそうよな
Uh-oh.
樹がおらんとダメなんや。
Sounds more like an obsession than love. But I get him, I get that creature, like this is the only connection that he has.
感情なんかわからん。
あかんで。このまま一緒におっ
So he does have feelings, his own and also Hikaru's.
出てもお前を好きなんやめられん。
Oh my god, oh my god. Is he possessing him? Oh my god.
何かが流れ
Excuse me?
光るやない。なんか
Huh. What was that? Momaki, Nanaki or Uniki?
あかんて。
So he was possessing him but stopped. Why did it feel good though?
嫌いにならんで。
I don't think he can. Even if he wanted to.
光の代わりや。俺は最低やから。変なと。あいつが完全に光になれやんように。俺も変えんのや。だからあんなこと。
This is really sad.
なあ、ヒカルとなんかあった？ヒカルが休むとか変やん。ヨシキもやめてや。最近のヒカル、なんかヨシキ大好き感すごいし、かわいそうやもん。でもほんまにヒカルは最近懐いてるっていうか。な、親についていくが。
Oh my god.
国道映画の見過ぎや。でこま
子供。
Yeah, that creature is practically newborn.
俺もう行くわ。
What? Is this already the end? You gotta be kidding me. These episodes are way too short. Oh my god. Is he going to reunite with him?
光おる？
Give him a hug. Aw.
俺の方こそ。俺お前に。って。ほら。ビビれとるやんか。怯えとらんし。嘘。だもん。めっちゃ黒いやん。恥ずかしい。ああ、そっち。 嫌い。よしき。
Oh my god. Are they gonna kiss?
折れるだけで。もう誰とは嫌われたないから。そんなことせん。お前の友達。 やつが。 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 やつが。
It's like he's falling for this creature all over again. Does he like that?
ガキ臭くて寂しがりやな。なんかさあ、何も知らんだけかも。
Teach him.
俺が
What is that mark?
教えてやらんと。
Yes! that sounded sus. What things is he gonna teach him? Oh my god. This anime makes me so flustered so often. I don't know, their love and their relationship, it feels so real somehow, even though it's like this weird alien or supernatural creature and a regular human guy. It still feels in a lot of ways like a fresh new real relationship between like two inexperienced people just learning to love. It just makes me kind of giddy too. I really want them to make this work somehow. The world is against them. Adults are against them in that town. The organization is against them. Some hunters trying to find Hikaru and kill him. But I want them to work out against all odds. Sorry about my cat. He's also excited about this. And he's also in denial. Oh my god, I want this to work out. I'm rooting for them so hard. They work together so well. They're just perfect for each other. I'm invested in their relationship. I'm invested in their characters. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, and I don't want them to separate. I'm going crazy here. If something happens to them, I will scream. Okay, trying to calm down. Let's talk about the plot. There was a strange mark, like a burn mark on Yoshiki. Was it something that he got from fighting with Hikaru? Maybe it was a bruise, or was it like an actual like permanent mark? And is it related to the mark that the hunter had on his neck? Are some people marked? I don't know. Am I obsessing about body marks the same way I was obsessing about Yoshiki's moles just for absolutely no reason? My thoughts are a mess right now. I feel like I need to take a break to gather them before I can actually say anything remotely smart and cohesive, but I don't have time for that. It's late already and I want to watch more before it's way too late to watch anything. It was just so emotionally conflicting. It was for Yoshiki, it was for Hikaru, and it was for me as a viewer. It's just a constant emotional roller coaster. It just keeps throwing you in two different directions along with what Yoshiki is experiencing. He keeps just flip-flopping, changing his mind. On one hand, he understands it's no longer his friend, and he's grieving the loss, and he's also afraid of this creature that threatened to kill him. But on the other hand, he still sees his friend in that creature, and he has all those unresolved feelings. He's not willing to accept that loss, but also he seems to be falling for this new creature in a different way on top of his feelings for Hikaru. Oh my god. It's nice that he's starting to understand that it is hard for this new Hikaru too. He started to humanizing him. First it seemed like he was dehumanizing him. It was like, oh, it's this evil creature, it wants to kill me, it's not my friend. But now he's like thinking this is its own person in a way that also has feelings, and it's like a child. Everything is new to him. He needs to be guided, he needs to be taught, and he can be good. In the end, even though he attacked Yoshiki, he didn't go through with it. He refrained from it. He realized he cannot do it, and showed Yoshiki that humanity in him, that there is something that can be loved and can love him. I think it made him sympathize with him, and it created this understanding between them. That whole stuff was really sad, like the confrontation between them in the classroom, but in the end, when they reunited and reconciled, it was so sweet. I don't know, they have to be together. They have to be together. I don't care how. Maybe they can run away. Fuck that town. Fuck that weird organization. Just run away. Maybe go live in the mountains. Whatever that threat is in there, maybe it's not gonna touch them if they're together. If they're just focused on each other, they're looking at each other and nobody and nothing else, maybe they can live there happily ever after. Probably not, because Yoshiki is still just a human. Will Yoshiki have to be possessed too for them to be together forever? Would that be like a stipulation? Would it be the only way? Would he agree to that, or would he reject it? And that's what's gonna end it all between them. Also, what was that woman talking about? Like, it's just this mass that spreads and starts infecting people. Was it another metaphor for like gayness? Was it like, oh, those gays gonna come from the mountains and infect good people of this town? I don't know, maybe I'm looking too into this. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm becoming obsessed with this anime. The horror themes, the mystery, the complicated relationship that's not entirely healthy. It's all the stuff that I enjoy watching. The animation is so good. It's drawn so well. The camera work is really unique. The sound is fitting. The atmosphere of everything is so like engaging. Like I'm sucked in the whole time. I really need to watch the next episode, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I enjoyed this episode and I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave below a comment. Thank you for watching, but for now, bye!